Kitco Mining's special coverage of the Deutsche Goldmesse is brought to you by Victoria Gold.
M&A in the gold space. This is Paul Harris for Kitco Mining at Deutsche Goldmesse in Frankfurt in Germany. Joining me this afternoon is John McConnell, President and CEO of Victoria Gold and Kitco sponsor. John, welcome to Kitco.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you very much for your sponsorship for us to be here. The Eagle Gold Mine in Yukon seems to be going great guns. I visited again in the summer, and what an impressive sight it is. The mine produced 150,000 ounces last year, and year to date it's produced more than 125,000 ounces, so it looks like you're going to have a better 2023. How are things shaping up?
Yeah, no, 2022 was very disappointing for us, and I won't go into all the gory details, but certainly post-COVID was not kind. We continued to have trouble getting good people, but, moving into 2023, we increased our salaries and benefits. We've put more emphasis on recruiting. We've improved the camp, improved the internet, and, so we're retaining people now and for the first time have a full workforce. And I think that's what's making the difference in terms of production.
I mean, the access to labour and the skill shortage, that's a global theme in the mining space. It's not just Canada, it's not just Yukon. Being in perhaps a more remote corner of Canada, is that an additional challenge?
No, I think people are willing to travel and, everybody wants to go to the Yukon. And, we've had a number of our employees that since they've started work at Eagle have moved their families up to the Yukon. And, probably over 40% of our employees are based in the Yukon now. So it's a great jurisdiction, as you know, to, both visit but also to live in.
I've been fortunate enough to visit Yukon now on several occasions, and it is quite a wonderful, magical place. Now, Victoria Gold is one of the most recent gold miners in Canada. How has that transition from being a developer to a producer been? How do the sort of pressures and expectations change?
Yeah, certainly you notice a little more gray hair. But it's been fun. I'm an operations guy from my background. I'm not an explorationist. So, this is running an operating mining company is more suited to my skill set than running an exploration company. So I'm quite comfortable in the role. And, next step is to build a multi-asset producing company.
I want to dig into that, if I may, John. But first, I'm going to ask you this. It must be great being free of the capital markets from the point of view, as an explorer, you've potentially always got to raise more equity and more equity and more equity. Now that you're a cash flowing producer, you're liberated from that for the foreseeable future. That must be a great situation to be in.
Absolutely. I think we generated, 25 million in free cash flow in the third quarter. And, most of that is focused on paying down debt. But, we also made an acquisition in the third quarter and we used cash for that. So great to be in that position.
Now, Eagle is far from being, with the mine plan you have at the moment, Eagle's far from being a story that's over. There's a lot of exploration upside there still. You've had publishing results from Raven, for example. Tell us a bit more about what the future potential of the project is.
Yeah, I think, with our recent acquisition and our exploration, we now have a really nice pipeline in the Yukon. Eagle's producing. We intend to develop Brewery Creek into a producer in the next 3 to 5 years. Raven, I would call an advanced exploration project. We probably need another summer of drilling there before we move into engineering and, pre-feasibility study. And then there's Lynx, which is south of Raven. It's a earlier exploration story that looks very encouraging. And then part of the acquisition of Saber's Yukon asset also included a prospect called Gold Dome, which our team is very excited about. And it would fit into that category of early exploration as well.
We've spoken in the past, John, about the specific vulnerability that a single asset producer has. You mentioned you acquired Brewery Creek earlier this year. I think a lot of people are surprised you haven't yet acquired your neighbour, Banyan Gold. Earlier in the year, you were unsuccessful with a bid for ATAC Resources. You were outbid there. And the word on the street is you went sort of relatively deep looking at Marathon Gold and its Valentine's development project. Obviously, something maybe you didn't like there. What's your strategy for growing Victoria Gold?
Yeah, obviously the organic growth is the best, and, we keep a close eye on what Banyan is doing, and we're their largest shareholder, and we own the royalties on the Ormac assets. So we kind of think we're in the driver's seat on Banyan, but we're very happy with what Tara and her team are doing there, advancing it. They're probably doing a better job than we could do because they're 100% focused on it, whereas it would be something we'd, wouldn't be 100% focused on. So very happy to see them advance it. And, at some point, the timing might be right for us to acquire Banyan, but it's not right now.
Okay. Well, in general terms, what is the sort of right moment of time that you'd like to go into another company, another project? If the rumors are correct that you were interested in Marathon Gold, obviously that's under construction. Banyan's not yet under construction. Is it sort of construction projects that are under construction or just coming to production where you see the best opportunity or the most meaningful opportunity for Victoria?
Probably. I mean, again, permitting in the Yukon took us 10 years on Eagle. Anything else coming along probably takes the same amount of time. And, I'm at a stage in my career that I don't really want to be banging my head against the wall permitting a project. So we're quite happy to have others do that. And when it gets very close to or has permits, then we'd be interested in acquiring.
And one part of this equation that we haven't sort of touched upon is Victoria Gold a potential M&A target?
Oh, I think so. There's not very many, 180,000 ounce per year producers in a safe jurisdiction. So I think we have to be a target. And, we've signed a few CAs with mid-tier and seniors, and they're in a data room having a look at our information, and, time will tell. We're not running a process, and we certainly are not interested in selling Victoria at current share prices. But when somebody comes and asks if they can have a look, we're willing to sign CAs and show them what we think the potential of Eagle is.
Now, the gold price is trying really hard to establish a base at $2,000 per ounce. So in that situation, and the cash flow you're generating or you will generate from Eagle, what's the vision in terms of the capital allocation? You mentioned earlier in the conversation about debt repayment. Is it debt repayment and building cash? What's the capital plan?
Yeah, I would say it's exactly that right now. We're focused on debt repayment. I'm a bit old-fashioned. I don't think my father ever had debt. He, when he bought a house, he paid cash. When he bought a new car, he paid cash. So I'm not comfortable with the debt we currently have, and I would like to see it reduced significantly. And, the term facility that we have currently will be paid off in less than a year from now. So every time the price of gold goes up $100 an ounce, it makes it that much easier.
Okay. Now, as a developer, imagine the conversations you had with the bankers about lending you money. Now that you're a producer, is that conversation changed into who you're going to buy, who's going to buy you? Is that kind of pressure and influence?
No, the bankers, all they're worried about is getting their money back. And, we just extended our revolver facility. They're pretty happy with the way things are going and how we've been paying down the debt. So, we have I would say that one thing that's changed is initially our debt was held by private equity firms at, significant interest rates, and we then refinanced with international banks, and then more recently we've refinanced again with a syndicate of Canadian banks, BMO, CIBC, National Bank, and Desjardins. So we have a real nice syndicate of banks, and it's nice to deal with Canadians.
We are obviously at a gold conference here, John. To what extent are you feeling that the audience is receptive to sort of gold stories, gold miners? Is investor appetite coming back?
I'm unsure. I mean, this is the second conference I've been at in 2 weeks, and there seems to be a little more of a buzz, but I think people are waiting on the sidelines still, and I don't know, it might take $2,500 gold to get them back buying equities.
Is that right? Is that what you think is going to happen?
I wouldn't be in this business if it wasn't a gold bull, so, I think, there's so many things going on in the world that influence the price of gold, and it should go to $2,500 next year, in my minor opinion.
Okay. Now, talking about 2024, what are some of the things we can expect to see from Victoria Gold next year?
Continued improvement in production. We're tweaking things every day, and sometimes to the positive, sometimes to the negative, but I think our guidance isn't out yet. It'll be an increased production guidance going into 2024. Exploration at Raven, Lynx, and Gold Dome, and getting back into the permitting process at Brewery Creek.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with all of those activities, John, and thank you once again for your support.
Thank you.
And this is Paul Harris for Kitco Mining at Deutsche Goldmesse in Frankfurt, Germany. And if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe.
Kitco Mining's special coverage of the Deutsche Goldmesse is brought to you by Victoria Gold.